Hi, I'm Brian Kennedy. This program clarifies how the regional transportation process works, characterizes the importance of this process, and most importantly sets forth how you, the citizen, can be a powerful participant in this process. A regional transportation plan typically begins by identifying its purpose, vision, goals, policies, and decision-making process. Then it describes challenges involving land development, transportation needs, social issues, environmental considerations, and funding. In larger regions, local governments work together with an entity called the Metropolitan Planning Organization, or MPO. This regional entity is frequently the region's Council of Governments, or COG. A Council of Governments is a regional planning organization that represents local governments and is guided by local government representatives. One of the primary steps in the transportation planning process is to develop and prioritize a set of projects that make up an overall plan for a region. This effort results in short-term and long-term outcomes that can have a substantial impact on your ability to reach your destination conveniently, the availability of travel options for your trips, and the quality of your community and the environment. These outcomes can include new roads, major roadway improvements, new interchanges, bridge replacements, new transit lines, bicycle paths, and pedestrian facilities like bridges over a highway. Citizens have a lot at stake when regional transportation planning decisions are made, and later when the projects they established are put into place. For this reason, public involvement and participation in these processes and decisions is required. However, despite the mandate for involvement and the importance of involvement, citizen participation levels during regional transportation planning processes are unfortunately often quite low. As a citizen participant, you can influence the RTP without being a transportation planning expert.
Who do we go talk to about creating that green belt?
To be influential, you'll need to do some homework first.
You can cross that right there to get over there.
Your first step toward being an effective participant is to find out more about the key players and processes that are involved in your region. With websites dedicated to this purpose and the new tools, it's far easier for citizen participants to find critical information about those key players and processes. Just search for regional transportation planning with a reference to your city or state. Websites like the Denver Regional Council of Governments site will come up. Websites like this one offer lots of excellent information and will show you how regional transportation planning is done in your area. They will typically also include information about how you can participate as a member of the public in the regional planning process. As mentioned previously, your first step is to learn more about the process in your area and tailor your involvement to their way of doing business. Here are some basic questions you can ask yourself and then the planning process leaders. What agencies in my area are responsible for regional planning? Does the decision-making process make sense and incorporate consideration of public input? Are the opportunities for public input adequate? Is enough information available to be an influential participant? Are the regional and local challenges fully defined? Are the right individual and overall solutions being raised and discussed? Are the solutions realistic? Is broad public support for the plan evident? A second step might be to start with your community and local government staff members, especially if you're concerned about local projects and issues. Call your local government officials and find out what projects your community is proposing, and then comment on those choices and related details. If your concerns are more regional, go to the applicable websites or staff members responsible for public outreach at your region's Council of Governments or Metropolitan Council. Be sure to ask what they want from citizen participants. This may seem sort of obvious and simple, but don't settle for vague answers. Get specific input from your contacts. Ask again if necessary, or request more details so you can be very clear about how to focus your effort. There are many ways to participate in the process. Write a letter, send an email, fill out a comment form, comment online, make a phone call, comment in person at meetings, or serve on a committee. The emphasis of this program is on how to make sure your participation is meaningful and your comments are noticed by the project team. It's also to make sure your comments generate an appropriate response and have the potential to influence planning process communications and the overall plan. Effective comments have the following characteristics. It is in your interest to become involved as soon as the process begins. Comments should be submitted as soon as possible. Be brief, specific, and clear about what you want and why. Avoid repeating someone else's comments. Numerous comments that repeat the same basic message do not necessarily carry greater weight. Planning decisions rely on an analysis of the facts and balancing many objectives and public policy matters. Effective participants realize that convincing reasons are far more influential than unsupported opinions. Each project in every community is unique. In every situation, there are many opinions and perspectives to be considered, along with a variety of laws, regulations, and procedures that must be followed. Some issues and methods are harder to influence than others. Don't let this discourage you. Instead, ask the project leaders to define very specifically what they want from public input and where they think public input could be most valuable and influential. And remember, the project leader's answers may be helpful, but you can comment on any topic of your choice. Clearly, the decisions made in the regional transportation planning process and their long-term implications can make a big difference to you, in your community, and your region. And please remember that citizen participation in the transportation planning process is required and vital. Regional transportation decisions can have substantial impacts on you, your children, and even your grandchildren, and the community and environment for generations to come. And finally, I hope that you continue to stay involved.